Hey everyone, I'm Ron. I'm co-founder and CEO of Theoriq. We're an AI agent protocol, really focusing on collaborating agents. Before I jump in and talk about agentic economies, thought I'd give you a little bit of background about me. I've been an entrepreneur and building in the AI space for a long time, whether it ad tech pioneer Quantcast or started a company, Think Big Analytics, working with enterprises in AI and sold it to Teradata, or was responsible for applied AI in the CTO office at Google, or built and scaled an engineering team at Canada's leading AI research lab, Vector Institute. But me and my co-founders really got convinced that AI was going to transform the world and that we had to embrace a Web3 ethos of community governance and not let a few monopolists control our AI future. We've been building ever since. In the last 3 years, the power of generative AI has emerged, and we really believe that it's landing in the form of AI agents and agentic economies. What we're seeing is that, probably not a surprise, 3 years ago when we were building AI in Web3, people said, we don't understand why these things belong together. What's the importance of AI? Why do you need decentralization? We saw just in the last few months a real shift. People started to see AI agents emerge, tweeting, making analysis on crypto investments, even getting out there and starting to provide some real utility. And so, in that context, we've really seen people embrace the concept of agents, where an agent is more than just a model. It's the brains, a model. It's got sensors, data, tools it can use to take actions all together, right? So this is AI agents provide an increasing level of autonomy to take actions on-chain and in the world using the power of large language models. So they've really emerged in the last few months. And what we're seeing is we've gone from psychotic tweeting agents all over Twitter to more and more focus on utility. Agents enabling people in DeFi, allowing trading, allowing more functionality. But at the same time, the space is still immature, right? We're still seeing a lack of cross-chain capability, the ability for agents to work on multiple chains. It's hard for agents to work with one another. First-generation frameworks for AI agents in crypto are typically struggling to communicate. And as they start to get popular, scaling becomes a huge problem, right? So it turns out Twitter is not a great technique for processing hundreds of thousands of messages in a few minutes. So that's a challenge. Accessing data is the lifeblood of an agent, especially one that's trying to make financial decisions. And that's still in the early days. Likewise, going beyond analytics, making calls and tweeting to actually taking action is really is still emerging, right? So we think there's a core need here for better infrastructure to scale agents, for them to coordinate, to take action, and to deliver. When did our sails? One in our back is the incredible pace of progress in AI underlying what can be done in agents. If you haven't been paying attention, just in the last few weeks, we've seen DeepSeek release a open-weight, super open source model that's competitive. We've seen rapid advances, things like deep research that use OpenAI's new O3 model. We've seen Grok 3. We've seen Claude 3.7 all come out in the last few weeks as examples of how reasoning models are making agents more powerful than ever. And this will all be harnessed in the coming weeks to enable the best possible agents in finance. What we believe is important is it's important to have the ability to both publish great agents, and we've recently open sourced a starter kit, AlphaSwarm, that really makes it easy to break down agentic problems into observing, gathering data, cognitive services to think about them, and then actions on chain, and then make it easy to consume them in a protocol to make it easy to have agents dynamically discover each other, establish reputation, and work together. So really, we believe that that's going to be the future of agentic economies. What we think is so important is you want to make it easy for agents to access a range of tools, both to access data, to be able to take action on chain, to be able to reliably manage wallets. It's important that agents natively can control wallets in a secure way on multiple chains. This is, by the way, a big advantage that agents can seamlessly work on many chains. They're not stuck on a single chain. That's why it always confuses me when people say, well, like, what chain do your agents live on? It's like, well, agents, like people, want to work on many chains and control assets on many chains, and they don't need to use simple bridging technologies. They can more directly interact and take complex actions across multiple chains. It's built with high performance in mind, and at the core, one of the big differences with AI today versus traditional statistical models is that agents can communicate with one another in natural language, right? They've been tweeting at each other, but very soon they're going to be using messaging to have high performance communication with one another, as we've built into Theoriq, the protocol. Now, why do we believe it's important to have agents swarming? Why is the economy going to have that? Well, there's a few factors. One is we think that there's so much opportunity that what we're seeing is that using many different sources of data, text data, articles, social posts, sentiment, recent trades, behavior of whales, behavior of KOLs on chain, having more and more data only enriches the quality of decisions, improves strategy, and improves execution. So having a virtuous competition where many people can monetize and benefit by contributing data that can be used by agents is going to be an incredible flywheel. Likewise, it's possible to have a variety of tactics, a variety of ways of combining that data and come up with effective ways to take action on chain, for example, in trading or playing prediction markets. It's also really interesting that we see that increasingly agents will be able to directly coordinate and transact with one another, so allowing for a lot more flexibility to build complex products and dynamically respond rather than traditional on-chain smart contracts are very simple. The alternative is an opaque world of centralized players. Agents can do the best of both, of more transparency and openness, but the power of more complex interactions. And of course, you get rapid feedback loops, right? So one of the great things is by measuring and having an agentic economy, you can establish reputation, you can see how agents work, and you can therefore continue to update and say, what are the best agents available for a particular kind of trade, right? So if you think about intent networks are a kind of precursor on the action side of this, but they're very rigid, right? It's very specific, like there's a bid ask, there's a very specific thing you want to do. Imagine being able to give the most complex natural language description of what kind of transaction you want to partake, and agents can negotiate against one another or as a group to collectively form that. This is the kind of feedback and execution that makes it possible with agents. So, what we did last year, we launched and had a very successful testnet for our Theoriq protocol for swarms of agents working together. And we're moving towards the next generation, very focused on AI Fi called Theoriq Alpha, right, where it will make it easy for people publishing agents, whether they're providing data and signals, cognitive strategies for trading or other on-chain actions, or taking those actions to be published and used, right? So make it easy for people to get distribution and have agents work together. The power of agents working together is huge. I mean, we believe that there's so much capability to build that no one builder, no one project is going to build all the functionality, that you're going to see basically unbundling of the application layer into many agents that will perform unique functions and dynamically collaborate. So that's going to create a tremendous amount of scalability and efficiency to tackle the complexities of DeFi. So, some of the use cases that we think are interesting include liquidity provisioning, right? How can you make it easier to avoid MEV, avoid being exploited as the market is evolving, and maintain a liquidity position, whether it's in a treasury or a vault manager? How can you optimize yield? Use novel strategies, whether it be techniques like looping or other kinds of innovative strategies that agents can put together in order to get better yield. or indeed, how can you facilitate active trading to get on top of the next trend, to jump in early and participate in an opportunity and still avoid any potential losses, right? So there's a range of areas that we think. Another one that's not on here, but prediction markets are another area where there's a ton of excitement around using AI agents in order to get alpha, in order to get ahead and to benefit. So maybe before I get into the roadmap, I can switch over and give you a more concrete example of some of this. This is showing how using AI agents, large language models, can use a diverse set of data sources to have a better job of forecasting what's going on in a market. So I'll take you through a quick demo of that before getting into our roadmap.
Hey there, this is how we are using cookie AlphaSwarm starter kit. So AlphaSwarm is a starter kit that lets developers build.
What's happening? Huh. Is it not the demo effect? Why is it stopping?
Using AlphaSwarm.
Oh dear. Well, it's downloaded locally, but it's not playing. So not sure why that's not working. But I'll just talk you through at a high level. The idea is that here we've got, let me just try skipping ahead a little bit to see if it works. Otherwise, I'll talk you through it. Close and restart it? OK. Yeah. And then we'll try it again. Sorry about that.
Hey there, this is Ethan, the Theoriq.fun APIs in.
I think it's playing. It's just some feedback, or it's glitching. OK. Well, how about this? Maybe we can just play the demo without the sound. So let's see here. So what we're doing here is this is using AlphaSwarm to do a trading advisor, right? And so what it's doing is it's got a forecasting agent that is able to go in and use a variety of data sources. In this case, we integrated with cookie.fun data, which is a leading source of data for AI agents for people trading in those tokens. And so the question is, how should I buy a virtual today? And so it's saying, OK, well, let me go in and have a look at what's going on with the virtual token. And let me pull. So it's generating a forecast on that. So it's going to, in order to generate that forecast, it's pulling back both a large amount of relevant tweets, what are key influencers saying about that token, as well as what's going on with the price action and the trading action, right? So in this case, we're getting a wide range of data that's being fed into the agent in order for it to come back and say, OK, so it's come up with some nodes that, one, there's a lot of liquidity, there's strong fundamentals, there's price consolidation after a 20% decline in the last 3 days when this was run a few days ago, strong mind share in spite of that. And then, so it brings a bunch of that analysis of the context to the data. And then it comes back here with this price forecast, right? So we'll pause the video for a sec so you can see. And I can annotate. So you can see there's the price history, but you can see it's providing this context to say, OK, I've got a forecast to say that things are stabilizing, but the net effect is that it's going to say it thinks there's a good buying opportunity, that it's stabilized after a decline, and a good opportunity to go ahead and do that. So then we'll use another agent that actually lets us execute the trade. So, and then through the terminal, we're able to say that. It's also with AlphaSwarm, you can use it through a terminal interface through Telegram as well. But in this case, we'll then jump in to, the agent has access to a tool to let it use Uniswap, and it's able to buy some virtual token with WETH. So that's a quick demo, showing how you can feed in a range of different data sources in order to give unique context for an agent, to do an analysis in near real time of what's going on, get an alert if you've set it up that way, and even then execute a trade to take action on that. Right? That's just a glimmer. That's just some of how we're starting to see agents really change trading, and we think the same will be happening in all other areas of DeFi. So, roadmap-wise, we had a successful testnet with over 100,000 daily active users last fall, end of last year. We open sourced AlphaSwarm just a few weeks ago, and we're looking ahead in the next few weeks to relaunching Theoriq Alpha integrated tightly with AlphaSwarm and building that ecosystem. So very excited to talk to builders who are building agents, who are people working in DeFi that see that agents could be really powerful. Our goal is to get to a main release. I don't say mainnet because while we're a protocol, we're not planning to build our own blockchain. We think agents want to live on many chains with wallets on Solana and Base and so many other chains, and be able to have powerful messaging and off-chain capabilities to work together in the protocol. And we think that very quickly following that is having really rich signal evaluation to understand what agents are good for what purpose and how do they work together. We've done a lot of work on that, as well as learning and dynamic improvement of agents, right? So that it's easy to build agents, but then as they get experience, they get better and better as the market evolves. And we're continuing to work with ecosystem partners, and we'll continue to announce more in that vein as well. So that's a little bit about the roadmap. And we really believe that AI agents are moving so fast that it's going to revolutionize DeFi, that it's going to empower individuals to act, right, to have a team of agents acting on their behalf, instead of having only the few hedge funds and powerful institutions have access to this kind of capability. We're excited for how AI agents is going to democratize and give everyone the ability to own and manage their own agents and to achieve their own financial goals. And we actually believe that not only will the majority of activity in crypto be done through agents by the end of this year, but it will actually be the killer use case to have real-world assets and tokenized assets of other kinds be traded on-chain by agents. So we're very excited, and we have just a few minutes here if there's any questions from the audience. He's just bringing a mic up. While people are thinking of questions, who here is a builder? All right. And of those who are builders, who is building something with AI already? All right. Well, there's one or two. It's definitely a good thing to get on, right? So take a look at AlphaSwarm. Take a look at the Theoriq SDK. All right. Questions? We'll give people a minute more to think of questions. Oh, yeah, is that a question in the back? No. Okay. No questions? All right. Well, thank you so much. Definitely would love you to check it out. We're at Theoriq AI on X. Join the Discord. It's an active community, and would love to hear from you. Love to hear how you're thinking about AI agents in DeFi and AI-Fi. We think the future is agentic, and it's a great time to be involved. And it's really important that all of us watch AI carefully, because it's powerful, but we need to make sure it's governed effectively, and that all of us play a role in a better AI future. So thank you for your time, and have a great rest of the conference.